Hi everyone. In today's ASMR video, I'm going to show you all the things that I've crocheted in 2024. As some of you may already know, I started crocheting this year, in February to be precise. I taught myself how to crochet by watching lots of YouTube videos and lots of trial and error. And I've crocheted a lot. I was on a spree, as in, like, I have a full-time job, right? So I do it on the side. And I also game on the side, but I managed to find a lot of free time to still be able to crochet on the side. And I won't show you guys everything, but just most of the finished things that I've made I will show you. So I hope that you guys will enjoy today's video, and let's get started. So first of all, to give you a bit of comparison, this was the second square that I've ever made. It's, as you can see, not perfect at the bottom there. That means I started skipping some stitches and started doing less. But overall, it's pretty fine. Like, it's alright. And then this is not the first. I can't find my first granny square, but this is one of the first daisy squares that I made. And my first granny square was not a square. It had like 5 or 6 corners and holes everywhere. It was a mess. But I practiced a lot during my holiday in Florida at the end of February, beginning of March. And at some point I just got the hold on of it and I just understood what I was doing. It's as if it sort of just clicked, and after that everything went a lot easier. So I'm gonna start with a few other basics. These are at my desk because I actually use them every day, but these are 2 flower coasters. And this is a yarn I bought in Florida and it's super soft. And it was very easy to crochet with. And these were very fun to make. And I used a lot of different type of stitches with this. Honestly, granny squares and these coasters and stuff, very good practice. At some point you start memorizing the pattern, and it's nice to follow along on YouTube. And you practice a circle, you practice different stitches. With granny squares you also practice going like straight and stuff, and I would recommend that. So those are a few basics. I'm gonna grab something else. Now this is the first wearable thing that I made. It's a bucket hat in my favorite color. And this was much easier to do than it looks. You just literally make 6 of these granny squares that I made here. And you make a big circle at the top. And then you just need to put them all together. You just join them. And once they're joined, you can just work in circles and make this border. If you are a beginner, you can definitely do this. If you know how to make granny squares in a circle, you can make this. And I made a second one that is black with black with a yellow core and pink flowers. And I made one with sunflowers for my best friend. I've got these clips in my hair, but I'm gonna try to put it on anyway. You can see my clips pointing out there. Then another hat that I made is this one. And I made a little mistake here. I made the border a bit too loose, but when I wear it, it's not too bad. And this is just basically one big, like, rectangular that you fold. And then you stitch the sides and you make a border. And I used the same yarn as these coasters. It's a gradient yarn. I didn't know what to do with the yarn, so that's why I decided to make this hat. And I find this really cute because look at it. Since it's like a rectangular bag shape, it gives you these little pointy ears. And this beanie, again, is very beginner friendly to make. Then I have a few blankets that I made, and these were very easy because you just make squares, 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 and you put them all together. It takes forever though, you need to make so many squares. So the first one is this basic square blanket. It's this super soft, I think they call it Bernat yarn or something. Blanket yarn, I don't know, something like that. It's very soft and very thick and super nice and easy to crochet with. It glides super smoothly and it just feels good to make something with this yarn. But this was an expensive blanket, guys. I thought crocheting is cheap. You can make your own things. That's not how it works. You do it because you like doing it and you make something at the same time, but it's definitely not cheaper per se. This is the most expensive blanket I've ever had. I think I made like 3 orders of 60 euros because I kept needing more and more yarn. And when I thought I was done, I was like, I want to have it bigger, and now that I'm working on it, might as well just do it right because it takes so much time. You're not like quickly gonna do it again. At least I won't. So I just bought more and more, and yeah, it's like about 150 euro blanket. The nice thing is that these blankets are super heavy. Crocheted blankets, I've made 3. It's kind of like a weighted blanket because it's like so compact with all the stitches. It's thick and heavy, it's nice. So this blanket was actually my first blanket. I made this one before the previous one. And this one is made out of just granny squares, the daisy granny squares. And this was fun to make. The daisy squares are, I'm actually showing you the wrong daisy squares are really fun to make, and it doesn't get boring. They're quite satisfying. You make a bunch of flowers, then you make the squares. And I made this in a color that kind of fits my living room, with the idea I could like put it on the couch. But I have such another massive blanket on the couch that I ended up not really using this one. But yeah, now that I see it, maybe I should. I just don't want to have like a ton of blankets scattered everywhere. Then I have this blanket, which is also a ton of granny squares. But they're all different in all different patterns. Like most of these squares are different, there's barely any duplicates. I tried to see how many variations I could do on 4 rows with 3 colors. So sometimes I did like a different color each row. Here I did like a double row on this brown outer edge. Sometimes I did a double row in the middle so that the center is a bit bigger. And this is actually very soft and nice yarn. It's blankets are just cozy. Now another thing I made with squares, surprise, is this little handbag. I actually made 2 of these. Another one in a bit of a old rose, a bit more pink color. And I gave that to one of my best friends for her birthday. This one was really fun to make too. And the nice thing is, the more experienced you get, the more you understand the patterns that you're following, and you're not just blindly following them and making things without understanding what you're actually doing. So the better you get at that, the more you can make adjustments. So this one I made it a bit bigger than the pattern because the first one I made I thought was a bit small. And the same for the head, the bucket head that I made. My head was a bit bigger than the person in the video, so I figured out by myself how to increase it and how I would need to adjust other things to make it all match and line up and stuff. So yeah, now I think we're gonna move on to like plushies and decorations that I've made, because these were lots of square based things, and now it's going to get a little bit more complicated. I'm sorry if my nose is a bit red, but because I pick up all these things, cat hairs are flying everywhere and it itches my nose. I've made these heat pads for pots. Is that how you call it? A heat pad? Heat pad. Into different sizes and with hooks so that I can hang them. They're a bit dirty because they're actually being used. They're made out of 100% cotton. otherwise your yarn is gonna melt. And since crocheting is so old, I found like this super old YouTube video for this pattern. I think it was like 10 years ago or something. But the things you can make with it never get old. And this is always useful. And this matches the color of the living room. So it's fun because I can make something unique. I can make something myself. I can do something I enjoy doing. And make something that is going to be useful. And in a color that I like. Then the next thing, this was in fall. And I wanted to make something that matched fall season. So I decided to make some decoration for in the home. So I'm going to show you. I made all this fall decoration. So, pumpkins. These were fun to make. And they're actually quite compact. It's like compact, chunky, kind of heavy things. And I made all these different leaves, maple leaves. I also made a teeny tiny acorn, but when my mom visited me and saw the acorn, she was like, okay, that one's mine. She thought it was so cute and she wanted to have it, so I can't show you that one. But it was a tiny acorn. And now we're going to move over to one of my favorite things, which is plushies. And I started crocheting because I saw someone who made a very big, floppy, cute Loch Ness monster. And I was like, I need that. So I tried to go to her website to buy it. And it was like over 350 euros or something. It was so pricey because, you know, she put a lot of materials and a lot of time into it. So I thought, I'm super creative. I pick these things up pretty well usually. I'm just going to do it myself. I'm not gonna buy this from her. Like, as a challenge. That was my challenge for this year. So I made, amongst others, this little Snuggie, snuggle, kind of like a baby plushy dragon. He's like dangly. And I was pretty happy with how this turned out. You guys should have seen the first plushie I ever made. Like, that wasn't very good. And I was not a big fan of, it's called amigurumi, which is the style of, it's like crocheting in circles instead of in like lines, instead of making something square, making something round. And that's like the technique that you use for these things. And I didn't like it. I was like, I'll just stick to granny squares. I'm gonna give up on the plushies, but I'm happy I didn't. I practiced a lot with the squares. So this one is nice. I'm a perfectionist, so I instantly see all the imperfections in this thing and how I would do it better next time. But I'm planning to make another one in like lilac and dark purple, and probably give it to my brother or something. They're getting a baby, so I'm gonna become a auntie, so I'm gonna make something for them as well. But yeah, I also think the head is way too long. Next time I would probably try to like make it stick out a bit less. And I would probably not do this because this like pulls the head, and now I have a dent in the head, and I think that looks a bit weird, but hey. Then I'm super proud of this one. I purchased a pattern. She's called Red Mills Crochet, by the way. She has super nice plushy patterns. You might want to look that up. And I got this super cute yarn, and I made this little dragon. I think my cat just walked over this because he's covered in hair, but he's floppy also. I like it when plushies are floppy and not so stiff. So these eyes you just purchase online, and it's just a pin. Like you put it in, and then from the other side you need to like push some sort of cap or lid onto it to make it get stuck, basically. So this one's filled up with filling. The girl that made this also had a another pattern for a more floppy, like snuggler version. And fun fact, I finished it this morning. I put all the pieces together so I can show it for this video. And another fun fact, this plushie next, like together with the Loch Ness Monster plushie that I saw, were the two plushies that made me start crocheting. I saw it and I was like, yeah, I want to make that. And now I actually did. So just before the end of the year, I achieved this big goal that I had for crocheting, and in not even a year, because I started in February, so I'm extremely proud of myself. I'm going to show you. It's so cute, I can't. And it kind of reminds me a bit of Espion. Like, put a red dot there, and I can probably make a Espion plushie. So yeah, this one is not filled up. It's extra floppy, and I was still thinking if I want to put like two like ears here as well in the middle, but I'm not sure about that yet. I kind of like it like this too, and I love the eyes. Like usually the eyes are black, but I managed to find these white ones. And it's pretty big also, so I'm super happy with this. It turned out very well. Now the final thing that took me quite some time, it's from a YouTube video that they say this is beginner friendly, I believe, but I don't think it really is. I struggled with it a tiny bit, and I think you have a bit of a harder time with this as a beginner, but I made my first actual clothing item. It's a mesh sweater and it fits super nicely. I'm gonna show you in a bit, but my goal for next year in terms of crocheting is making more things that I can wear. I am currently also working on a cardigan that is going to be it's going to consist of all these different squares. I also got green squares. It's going to be 3 colors, but I really want to make more things that I can wear, some tops, maybe a dress. So yeah, I'm going to put it on and show you. I love it so much. I absolutely love the sleeves. I think I could even wear this in winter in the Netherlands. I'll just have to wear this, I have this black see-through long sleeve mesh type of shirt, and this over it is probably fine. So yeah, I like how it fits with the low shoulder. And it's droopy, it hangs down. It's not a stiff boxy thing because I hate that. So I am very happy with this. I'm thinking of making another one, but then with a button in the middle and have it cropped and have this cropped buttoned cardigan type of thing, and then maybe make it black and pink and purple or something like that. A bit more dark because I'm making a lot of pastel things these days, and I know crocheting with dark colors is harder, but I think I can do it right now. So I'm currently working on the cardigan with all the squares that I showed you, and I bought some gradient yarn. I'm going to Canada on Friday, which is probably when you guys will see this video or another video anyway. And I'm planning to crochet some scarves because it's easy to do in the plane, and I just need one skein of yarn and not different colors, and since it's a gradient, I think that is gonna turn out super cool. So that's it, guys. That's most of the things, at least the things I'm very proud of, that I crocheted in 2024 as technically a beginner because I started this year, but I think at this point I can consider myself a bit more advanced. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments which creation was your favorite. I'm very curious to hear about that. And have a good day, have a good night. I hope you're all relaxed, and I see you